Hello,
Hello, guys.
hi, Empanada.
Hello, hello, hello. How are
How are
you?
you? Thank you so much for today. I made $1,000.
You made $1,000 today?
Yeah, 1,060. Thank
What
you
were
so
you
much.
trading?
I trade SPX, but you talk about SPY, and I hear you, and I make trade in SPX.
Nice, nice,
It's
nice, nice.
beautiful
How
day.
was? You grab the puts or the calls? You got the bounce?
First, I did calls. After I did puts. Yeah, I just hear you. That's it.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm really glad that you were able to grab
Thank you so much.
those
Thank
moves.
you.
Yeah. No, you don't need
Thank
to
you. Nice
no
to
need
meet
to
you,
thank
bro.
me. That's why we're
I think it's good. You like my screen. Thank you.
yeah, I thought that by sharing the screen helps a lot. It's easier when you can share what I'm
And
watching.
it's overloaded. Too many people joining.
It's
Keep
Yeah.
overloaded.
trying.
It's 21 person. Nothing. We can fit more than 50 here, more than 100. This is going to be a fun class because the idea of this class is not anything that is going to be too deep into. It's not the idea on this. It's not that it's going to be something too deep into definitions and anything. It's going to be more into the practical thing on how do we set up levels, how do we find how to respect those levels, where do we get in, where do we get out, and the idea is to go through some of the names and go through some of the trades that I do, how to find some pre-market stocks by looking at the levels, and then we can see some of the trades that we took that I took today, and we can see what the chart was on Costco, SPY, Apple, Abercrombie and Fitch, and we can go why I got into those. So I'm just gonna wait a couple of 3 minutes more until everyone it's in. And how was your trading today, guys? Who else have had a good experience or a bad experience today that we can go through later on and see what happened? Anyone read today? Hopefully not. Nope. Nice, DeWalt. Nice, nice, nice. Anyone else? Green? Mario Green. Marina, what happened? What did you trade, Marina? Red. What did you trade today? Red intraday, 900 green for the day. What? Mooney, you got that was a nice comeback. That's $1,000 comeback there. Beautiful. Got into SPY at the top. Let me see the chart. Yeah, that we need to be very, very specific and be very disciplined and not to grab any calls at the top and not to grab puts at the bottom, guys. Well, we will go through this today. Range day like 1K, says from last night. Yeah, it was a nice day today. If I go to I'm just gonna show here the SPY today, what happened with SPY. This is what we got on SPY. That's a little move on the 4 hours. You see that from one day to the other, engulfing candle, and then not much action, just holding that level nicely. And this is a level, the 531.5. Look at that level, 531.5. That's where we held, and it comes all the way from holding here. And it was a previous rejection. It became support. We did this rally here, went down. It was rejection, and we're support again. So I would love to have some strength in the market and then do something like this again. And if we are a little bit abstract, this could be like a shoulder, head, kind of a weird shoulder, and that's when we went down. So you see it? Shoulder, head, and shoulder down. So that's some things that on those that we need to know. But Marina, I was looking for the gap to fill, but it rejected the level. Yeah. I will go through SPY, Marina, and we can see what happened on that chart and why do you got that at the top, okay? All right, guys. The idea of this class is just to see how do we, like, this is my SPY chart on the 4 hours. I'm very, very thorough on my levels, and I try just to keep them. I update them every pre-market, and I'm very thorough on whenever whenever you see these green levels, all of those are supports. When you see a red level, are my rejections. I draw these all manually by just doing a little rectangle like this, and I just color it, and that's how they put it. You know, some red, I do one red, one green, and then I just copy. So that's the easiest way, and I keep on moving them every day so I know what happened. Yeah, Marina, I see your chart. That's a perfect chart, Marina. I was looking to the gap, but you grab it, you grab that thing. Oh, yeah, you were a little impatient to see. That was a perfect, nice rejection at the top. We will go through that. And so one of the things that we need to do is how do we know where to get those levels first? Which levels are the ones that are very important to us? Because if we get into the noise of having every move that happens, it's going to be a lot more complicated. We just care about the important levels. So you see in SPY, even though I have a little here, you will see that the main ones are, you see this range here, and I'm going to draw boxes, you know, that I like to do so. So you will see that we have a very important price action happening in this area, right? And from this area, we can actually just look above and look above, but never hold any other range than this one. So this is an important range. Then we have another range just right below. I have some feedback. Jamil and iPhone, ready? I took care of it. So, and then we have another price action right here. Why do I say that we have a price action? And this is where we are. Why? Well, we have this rejection. We broke the rejection. It became support. Did all of this, went down, and look where we are getting back. So by only doing this, I already know that if I go to the 15 minutes and I move my chart like this, I know that my range tomorrow has to be somewhere between here and here. So that's why the levels are very useful. So what am I looking? I'm not looking to grab puts or calls right here. If I'm trying to be logic, we should try to reject this level again. And if I go near anywhere 537, 536.5, that will be puts. That's what happened today. And if I go between 532 and 531, and if we don't break down, and we will see how if, because you see, we support, this is what's rejection, and then we broke up, we're holding above. And if we keep on holding like with these weeks, this is going to be where I will take my calls. But what happened, guys, if I'm in between this level, if I'm here, like a lot of people ask, like, well, you have another level here. Yes, this is like an intraday level, but I care about my bigger support and the resistance. So if I'm here and we open, am I gonna just jump right away and try to go here into calls? No, I'm gonna try to see if we have a pullback to my major level, or if we're gonna have a rejection on my major level. And then on that major level, it's where I will try to see if I grab my puts. So the other scenario will be, what if we do something like this? But look at how do we know that we have a rejection? You see, this was rejection. This, we broke it up, and what happened? We went completely down. After this candle that we broke up, we never held on top of this level. and we went completely again back down. But this level here is when we kind of retested it, and then we broke, and this was a nice, powerful bull candle that broke up. We got resistant perfectly on our top level, and then we went back and we held again what was our prior resistance. So I moved this here to make it more visual, and now we've been holding above that level, and we went down today. And where do we went back? Look at the level. Look at that wick. Perfectly between this level and holding again on top of 531.77 or 531.5. Remember, these are not specific numbers, are not to the T. This is a level. Some wicks can go exactly there, some can go a little further. You need to have the eye to see, like, look at this bounce. Look, 1, 2, 3, and we bounce. The last candle of the day, what happened? We bounce up and we touch VWAP. So remember, what are the rules? Above VWAP, normally, either if you are in a range above VWAP, you go for calls. Below VWAP, you go for puts. That's like the main of VWAP.
Yo, Empanada, I have a question over that. Since
Yes.
Since you also use your Bolger bands and your ribbons, would that be another indication if they're all under the ribbons or the Bolger bands, as including what you're saying, you'll take puts?
Well, that's a great question. I'm gonna mute you because you have a lot of feedback. Yeah. Remember, guys, there are two different ways on how do we get into trades and how do we know where our levels, or at least in my style of trading, we have price levels. These are the price levels. These are fixed. These are based on the charting. But the indicators those are dynamic levels. They move. Remember, this is VWAP, but VWAP is moving with the price action. So what we normally look to have, as I repeatedly talk this on all of my lectures, is we need to have our eyes set on where I have the most indicators that are going to help me, that I should need to grab a call or enter or get out, just to let's call it that way. It doesn't matter if it's puts or calls. So I need to see that my levels, my price action levels, are where I want to be. And then I have to see that my dynamic indicators, that can be your EMA, can be your SMAs, could be your Bollinger Bands, whatever you want to be, they have to match what I'm doing. They have to show what's happening there. So here, this is my long term, as I always go, and that's, it become boring to explain maybe to you guys, but I use to chart my longer frame. This is my bigger, larger time frame chart, and I only have VWAP and my daily SMAs. Daily SMA 50, 200, 20, and 100, and VWAP. All of these that you see here, the new study and everything, are these little squares here that they're just telling me what's a buy volume, sell volume, what's the current bar doing, the total of the movements of all that, what's trading today on SPY. That's it. But besides that, I care about this. And why do I care about this? Well, look at this. Look at what happened on SPY. And this is for Marina. Look what happened here. We broke the 100 daily SMA. We found resistance, previous resistance, once, twice, and then on the third time, we broke up and we held above the 100 daily SMA. What is this telling me? That, perfect, this is a change right now after that crazy drop that we had last week. This is telling me that the bulls are trying to get back in control. We're holding above that level, and this is a nice, even though today was not really a move nowhere, because we bounced down, we went up, we went down, it was just like a range day between these two levels, like 531.23 and 535. Those are the lower price of the day and the highest price of the day. So that's the range. We didn't move, but we stay above this level. That's what I care. I care that we stay above here to be bullish. I want to stay above my higher level. If I go to my smaller or shorter time frame, this is what I see. This is what I draw today on SPY. This is my chart. I go like this big, and I want to see what my candles are doing. So look, we were at the top of my Bollinger Band, and what do I want it to jump right in when we open? No. Why? Most of the time, when we open, we either jump up or jump down very aggressively, unless you can read very well what's happening on the price action. It's a risk because this candle can open green and you believe that it's going to break up, but we never had the confirmation to break up above this level, and then we went down completely. Where I'd rather take my trades on the bounce. They did all the move. Look where it went all the way down to after and outside the oversold level on the B bands. Every time that you break outside the B bands, it's oversold, and that's a great entry if we bouncing right back up. And this is a great, incredible entry to trade all the way here. And then if you wanted to trade here and you see this rejection, that it was not that clear because we never touched my B band, but it was a good rejection, you could have just grabbed all the way down here, and that's a trade. You might scalp this here, but what I was looking, I wanted to trade either this or this, and this is where I call the SPX puts that I say, this is a great price, this is a great place that if we reject here, it's gonna go all the way down. Look where it went down. Look at where this bounce is. Exactly at 531.77. Where do we touch that again? Look at this week, just before closing. Where do we bounce and went again to the VWAP? You see how levels are they just repeat themselves. So the only thing that we need to do when we are on a trade, we don't need to jump for every candle that happens. And this is on the 5 minutes. If I go to the 15 minutes to trade this, it's even easier because I just wait to went down. I might grab it maybe here because it's 15 minutes, go all the way. This one almost touched the top and I'm out. And then whatever happened here, maybe a little noise, and I have my drawing. This is my trend, what happened today. And I was expecting to see if any of these weeks maybe break, retest, and then try to go higher. None of them did except this one. But this was just at close. So what do we learn about this? First, look at, if I go to the let's call it the half an hour. Look at what happened to the price action SPY trend lines. You can draw this with margins, with lines, whatever you like, but help yourself visually to see we went down, we resisted. So this is a huge level of resistance, 509. We went up, and look at how this level, it's been very hard to resist. 1, 2, kind of went up and went down. And then here is the first time that we went above this level and holding. And I assume, unless we have any news, that tomorrow we should be bouncing on top of 534 and try to go to this little gap that we had here between 537 and 539. That's why my logic will say, but I have no clue what's going to happen until pre-market that I will move. For example, one of the things that I do with this is not a green level anymore. And now this becomes a red level because we are below. If on the price, on the pre-market, we will go higher, I will go above this and try to go, you see, this is going to be a rejection. If we go higher, I will take this off and just move it again to the next higher one that I have, next level, and I'll go. But the kind of why we want to come here is, how do we set this up? How do I go to my candles? This is my screens, guys. This is how I set up my charting screens normally. Yes.
Yo, Empanada, I had a question. So I had a setup that met my criteria today, and it was a SMCI. And I only played it for like, I would say an hour or so, but like it hit my 3 targets that I had for it, and then it still gapped up like $20. So how can you know to hold a trade that's like it's a winning trade. It still has more gas to go.
Well, if you give me a little bit of time, if you give me a little bit of time, I can go and explain that on the on after we do the levels. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's good, bro.
Perfect. For the questions that I have on the questions that I have on the chat. Let's see 1 second. What do you usually chart on time frame wise? I chart from, and let's do it together. We're gonna go to FSLR, and I'm gonna expand this, maximize it. I'm gonna shrink this a little bit because we don't need it right now. And I'll go to the 4 hours, guys. I start my charting. This is FSLR first run. I love these names on energy. I love these charts, what they're doing right now. And this is what I look when I first start. I go to a clean slate. I only have my bigger time frame indicators. So blue one, it's a 20, yellow, it's a 50, the 100, and the 200. So I just want to see where we are. That's the first thing that I want to know. Let me see. So the second thing that I want to know is, do I see any pattern? As I said, we were looking here. This looks like a little like shoulder, head, shoulder, and we went down and we're downtrending. So one of the things that I can do here, like right now that I would like to know where we are on this price action is, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to set this little range that we are here. That's the first thing that it caught my eyes. We have a range happening here, and I don't want to make the mistake of trying to, maybe grab calls right here when we are at the top of this range, or try to grab puts if I'm here, and we might bounce. So if we have these repetitions, you see how this range 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times we're kind of bouncing on that lower level. So this is a downward trend, clearly, that we have to respect. So one of the things that I do normally is I will go a little bit more fancy in the color, and I do it purple because that's got how I can differentiate with my other indicators. I'll explain what those arrows are. The arrows are when the price action touch the upper band or the lower band of the Bollinger Band. That's it. Those pattern indicators top right to the screen next to the studies, they print based on the candle bodies. Okay, I'll go into the chat in a second, guys. I don't want to lose the idea. I don't want to lose you here that this part is really, I love it. I mean, it's really nice. So one of the things that we do here, guys, is we have all this price action. Normally, I want to see what the price action it's doing. So we broke and we held the 20 daily SMA. We went up, we were overextended, very overextended here. And then we broke down, we crossed our daily 20, crossed my 50, but I've never been close to my 100 just until now. So even though I'm downward here, I'm fine. I went below the 100, but I'm trying to find resistance or support on that 100 level. And here's where I want to see on my bigger time frame if the 20 it's going to cross above the 100, or if it's going to hold and then try to bounce back. If I see the 20 not crossing this level right here, and I see the 20 daily SMA try kind of bouncing up, this will be a break up of the trend, and it's going to be a change of direction, and it's going to give us a great entry. Where do you want the entry? Of course, the perfect entry should be somewhere like here. But if I have an entry that is going to be a break and retest of this trend, I will take it perfectly. And then where do we grab that? So here's what we do. This is how I do it. Everyone has a different style, and you need to find what style is the one that it's more appropriate for you visually and while you're trading, depending on what type of trader you are. So if anyone is new here or not, there are so many different type of trader that you can be. You can be a momentum trader and you only trade right at open. You can be a day trader and just hold for the whole day. You can be a inverse trend trader. There are so many different ways, but right now let's care about
A scalp trader,
you can be a scalp trader. Yeah, you can be a scalper. That's it. And I'm gonna go for the levels. So what I've tried to find on levels is when I see a big support or rejection, and I want to try to find repeatedly when I see these. So if I find this level here, how many times do we touch this? 1, 2, almost 3, 4, almost 5, and then we broke it. So this will be, of course, one level. Of course, the high of all this move is going to be a next level. So remember, I'm just looking for main levels. I'm not looking for the intraday smaller ones. I want to see on the 4 hours, like look at this one here. I will grab these two supports and kind of look at these rejections right at that same price level. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4, just a week, and 5, another rejection. So now on 4 hours, just by watching how many, of those weeks are rejecting or supporting, I have 3 levels already, fairly easy. Do I want to mark these ones too? Yeah, why? This is sort of those shoulders, like big rejection went down, and then here's where we pumped. So I want to mark this. Doesn't need to be to the T. If I want, I can make it touch this one here, because why? Well, when we were coming down, we never came down completely straight all the way here. For some reason that we had here some noise, we stopped here, went back and rejected that level again, the 255.09, and then we fill the gap. So of course, look at here. This is where we had the little rejection and huge day up. And where do we went up and bounce and find support? Almost the same level. As I said, it doesn't have to be to the cent, but if we do it graphically, this will be enough. So now I know which levels the bigger levels I need to take care on the upside. Let's see what we have on the downside. So I have this level right here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times and a rejection. This is a rejections and this support. So I have this, and I can do one more because I don't need to chart the whole chart, because I just care where the price action is right now. So you don't need to go into the whole thing for the whole year. I'm just gonna go through this one. And why do I want to do this last one? Because I'm curious and I'm interested on this. This is the last hold and support of the 20 daily SMA. And look, this is the same rejection on that price action. So again, this is again and again and again, guys. We're always going to find the same. We have a rejection, and then we break that rejection and become support. This is what you have to get your eyes sort of educated with. Rejections, then become support. And from support, we break up, then becomes, again, we have a rejection. And then that rejection, what happened with that rejection? Becomes support here. So support, rejection, and then went down, and we start up, sorry about that. And then we do the same. So that's the easiest way to find all those levels that we need to. So after here, 4 hours, let's go to the 1 hour. What do I care about the 1 hour? Well, I'm just going to try to find other levels that can be important to me while I'm day trading, because that's what we are. We're day trading, we're scalpers. We might be investors and we might, get into some of the other levels, but right now, yes, I look at the daily chart. I can go into the daily chart, but on the 4 hours, on the daily chart, I just like to know, you see, it's a little, I just need to know if I have space to go up or down. And then I go to the 4 hours, that it's where I rather have my charts. And from the 4 hour, I grab some more days here. I got 90 days, okay? So I can have all of this. And if I want to look, if we're here tomorrow, we only have to draw certain amount of levels, because they're gonna be there for the next time, and I can just move them around. But so you see, these levels on the closer time frame, they don't look to be like, there might be a little bit disorganized, but what do I care? Well, if we're going up from here, I know that today we have this top level that we rejected today. So this was a resistance here, and this might match with, oh, look at this. It matches with this, matches with this, matches with this, matches with this, matches with this. So this is not a sort of a lotto price action that happened here. What happened is that in the past, that price action was a rejection or a support of previous price action. So I'm marking this one here because I want to know if we go up and break, where are we going? So here's where it gets a little bit trickier, guys. There is no a specific, exactly level where you need to go. You need to make it where you visually feel more comfortable. And since I like repetition of rejections, I like, for example, look at this. I like this here. Why? Well, my eyes are telling me that we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. So I will say that my next rejection is going to be somewhere around this area because that's the previous rejections. And then I can grab this here and I'm going to go until here, here, and here. Those are the only levels that I'm going to use on the upside. That's more than enough. And when we go to the 5 minutes, we will see. But do you see these levels are previous rejections, rejection, 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 rejection. These 2 rejections here out of the 50 daily SMA, same rejection. So it's not that the only thing that you need to know is be organized when you get into your chart and look at for some of the levels that you need to trade. We don't need to do thousands of them. I just care about the most important ones. And I'm looking to break this trend line. So I'll go into, I'm just going to jump to the 5 minutes. So this is how my 5 minutes right now is going to look. So what do I have here on my longer time frame? Well, look at the rejection that would happen today perfectly. I don't have any support yet because I went from the 2 1 hour straight away here, but I have my daily SMA. That's the indicator that I like to see that we're above to keep going up. And we broke the 100 also. So this is where the 50, the 20 is trying to hold and not to go across the 100. So since I don't have any price level here that it comes from the previous one, I'm going to step back to the 30 minutes. Okay. I can see that on the way down, we found some support at this price action here, where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if I don't want to get my life too complicated, I will leave it just like this. So these are my main levels on FSLR, which is a first run solar energy. So I will have my XLE open to see how energy is performing, and I would like to see how this is performing. And then from here, I can jump to my 5 minutes or 15 minutes if you like. And here's where I make my levels. So I know that I'm not going to go into doing the coloring part, because the coloring part, when for some reason my computer gets crazy, when I do the coloring on red and green, and I have to reset TOS, I'm just going to put in like this. I'm not going to put the full color right now. I have some issue with my video card that it gets all blurry and I need to reset it. But this is how I make my levels. And then for whoever uses and the ones who uses TOS, if you click on anything and you click spacebar, you can duplicate it right away and just I can just duplicate it right here. Sorry, it's duplicated right here, and I can just move it up and down like this. Like this, and then like this. So my green, this will be my red ones. Then this will be my green ones. So I already know this. This is what I look on my other charts, the way you see them. if I'm here tomorrow, the price action is here and I don't break up, am I gonna grab calls? No. Why? Well, I know I don't go back and try to see my levels again. I know and I respect my levels, and I'm really confident that this level is a rejection point. So if my price action is anywhere around this area, I'm not grabbing calls. Where am I grabbing calls tomorrow on this name? Well, either we break up, and then what else do I have here? Well, it's my purple line. That's my trend line. So I don't only have this rejection here, I also have my trend line rejection. So the only time that I will grab something is if I'm on top of this price action and I'm somewhere around here, and then try to see if I can go from here to here. But that's going to be candle reading. I need to see my candles breaking up, holding, and then I will see if it gives me an entry to try to go to 224. If I find the price action rejecting anywhere around this area, I will try to grab puts all the way to come down here. Or if we have a, flush back and we resist this level, I'm going to try to grab calls and try to go up right here. So this is how I respect my levels. If I have the price action in between these levels, like here, I'm not grabbing anything unless, like, if I hold it here, these indicators, and I'm breaking my dynamic indicator, which is my VWAP, and it's coming up, I might try to grab. But you see, the problem that I find here is my risk reward here is it's 0.5%, that if I wanted it to go from one level to the other one. So this is where you have to decide, am I okay just grabbing a couple of 5-minute candles, or I want to grab the whole move? You can scalp this, couple of these from here, it went all the way to 220, and then we rejected it. So, and then the problem here is maybe you got scared, you got out, and what happened next? It went up again. So that's up to you. Where do you set up your stop loss? And if you are confident that this thing is going to hold. And this is where we go through, how do I know that I need to hold? Well, I have different ways, and that's where my dynamic indicators are going to tell me. This, for example, if I got my call at the break of VWAP and I'm holding, and if I see this pushback and the next candle opens here, look at this candle, even though it was a little, scary that it went down, it never got close to my VWAP. So if I'm on an upward movement and I see a little move up and down of my candles, but I don't see that, that I'm getting close to any of my support levels, I'm okay. I keep holding. I can keep holding it without any trouble. Here is where I see, okay, so 1, 2, 3 times we're rejecting, and then we are open again on negative for the 4th time. Let me get out of this. I don't want to hold this. So I'll get out of this somewhere around this area because I have too much rejection there. So you see how easy you can make it on yourself if you have levels set. I don't need to go back. I don't need to do anything. I just need to sit and be patient and read my candles, what they're telling me, and see how they interact with my levels. But this is my bigger time frame. What if I go to my higher time, from my smaller time frame? What my smaller time frame is telling me? Well, it told me that there was no entry at open, because we discussed already, because we were not at any level. And then we went up, and I'm rejecting my VWAP, my B-band. I'm rejecting my B-band, and it just gave me a entry for puts all the way to the lower part of the B-band here, if I wanted to scalp this downward trend. But we never saw this here. You see why? Well, I was looking for another move, but this was an entry to go down here. Why? Because, well, I'm on the 15 minutes, but if I go to the 5 minutes, this is a little move, a nice move that I could have just scalped all the way from touch to the upper band, all the way to the lower band. And this is my trade. And if I'm fast enough, I could have grabbed calls here and go up. And again, I have another scalp. So I could do the B movement here, like if this is a range, and I'll be out. And I don't care about entering on anything else right here. So this is one way that we know. Another way that I use sometimes, guys, that you can use, it's using the MACD. The MACD, it's a fairly easy to use indicator. This indicator, every time you have the MACD, is the blue line. If you have the blue line crossing above this is the indicator line or the level line. When it goes up, it's positive, and when it crosses back down, we are on the downside. And if you see how this interacts with the upper price action, you will see that when we start coming down, the MACD start coming down. You see that every time that we have more space between the two lanes and the two indicators, we have some space. And when we start to getting close to one to the other one, you got to be careful. And this is one like easy way to help yourself find more indicators. Sorry about the repetition of the word, but that's what they are, on how to hold a trade while you're in, and not to, we always have complaints that we got out too early, that why do I get out of it or anything. It's like, because we're impatient and we need to see if we're keeping the trend, if there's any indication that be careful, you need to jump out of it because we're getting too close to, any rejection. No, here it was my indication for a little put, then it touched my level, again up, you're out, and this is just quick scalps. You could have do this, even these three here, and that's it, and you're out. Nice little 5 minutes trade. This is 15 minutes, 25 minutes, and this is like, I don't know, 1 hour here. So any questions so far? Let me go to the chat 1 second, because I have some comments and I'd like to know. Yeah, the arrows, as I said, this is just the touches of the, this is a script that we made just to, when it touches up and down on the VWAP. Nothing, this is just visually help, nothing exciting. Those are pattern indicators. They print based on the candle bodies and wicks. Got it, thank you. TOS study in the library. No, this is not a TOS study in the library yet. This is on beta testing. I'm back testing this indicator right now to see how it works and if it's accurate to what's happening with the VWAP, with the V-band. If you click on it, there's a bunch of presets. Some of the best are engulfing, thrusting, 3 inside down. Okay, as an actual study through, there's one called the TTM scalper. That's pretty good. Just got to be mindful about what time frame you use them. Okay, then look the daily chart. Can you repeat which SMAs you use, please? Yes, the wall. I got on my shorter time frame. This is what I got. I got the Bollinger Bands. I got the MACD, and this is how I set the MACD. This is that what normally is a 12, 26, and 9, and my VWAP. And then on my longer time frame, these are my levels. I have the daily SMA, and you can find it here as a daily. If you go to daily, you go to daily SMA, you find it here. You have to add it 4 times, and then you just switch to 50, 200, 20, and 100. That's what I have. I have the volume splits, which is this, that they are available on, I think, Flips or, sorry, Dirty River has it, and the VWAP. That's and I use the TTM squeeze on this side. So it's easier to find on the bigger levels, the TTM squeeze, and I know when the squeeze is open, I can just switch back to see if the squeeze is open. I want to see if my MACD is getting higher or not, or if we're breaking up or down. I'd rather always trade on the upside of the MACD, and I'm not that good on scalping on the downside. So I just normally try to trade the first, that's why we trade on the first 2 hours of the morning. You have more volatility, you have more volume, and it's easier to grab, some moves and be over for the day. I don't want to be trading all these rest of the day until power hour, because this is where we overtrade. This is when we try to, be greedy. And I rather just try to play the first 2 hours, and then maybe we have a major move or news, I'll stay. But if not, I try to leave these alone until we are back at this volume again. So what's the other one? I have another name. I think it was Crux. This is another name that I like a lot. This is Crux. I trade Crux, and we can go and how to use some levels here. Again, we can create a new set, which is called levels. And again, guys, what do we do here? How do we find levels here? We go to the 4 hours. what the 4 hours are telling me about this price action? Well, it's a pretty hefty price action moving up and down. But remember, I just care about which are my main levels. I just care about where are the main levels that I want to try to see if I can grab a good movement and a good risk reward. So let's go to like this price action over here. So this will be one price action. Of course, there's going to be, even though we are in the 4 hours, this price action somewhere around this area, it's repeating itself. Then I'm going to grab just whatever my eyes are telling me I have more price repeating. So I'm going to go through this one right here rather than the one lower. I'm going to go to this one, these two here. Why? Well, 1, 2, 3, and here, and some noise. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one. I got this one is 1, 2, and some noise. I got more noise here because look at all of these repetition, and then some support at that same level that it was a previous rejection. And let me go down to where we are right now. So we are at this sort of price action over here, and we are finding a little lower level somewhere around this area. So we have rejection, and support, and rejection. So I'm just gonna, stick to this one. Let's maybe go to the lower one right here. So we know where we are. And then I'll go to the 1 hour. So what do I see on the 1 hour on Crux? I'm looking at a rejection, a hold of the 200 SMA. I know that the 20 crossed over the 50 and the 100, but it's holding. And what do we look to grab calls? We look to be above your indicator. So I need to be above the 20 to see if tomorrow this is going to be positive and it's going to hold, or if it's below, I might grab puts to see if I go either to this level or to this level. And if I go into a little more detail, you see, we're trying to see if we hold or not, if we break and hold above it. Are we holding it? Well, I would like to see where the price action is going to open tomorrow. But so far, it's looking interesting. So what do I wait tomorrow on the pre-market? I want to see if we are above or below my 20 daily SMA to see if I be interested in calls or puts. And I can add some levels here that I didn't see on the bigger time frame. So I have this rejection right here, and I got this hold here. So these are my specific prices, my price action, and my levels that I would like to see what's happening. But if I go to my smaller time frame, well, this is what happened today. We got a nice pull down from the 5 minutes on my Bollinger Band. I got a couple of tiny scalps. You see, this is not something that I really want to be involved, because I would like to try to see something like this. I want to go from here all the way to here, from here to here. Why? I'm a better day trader than a scalper. That's myself. So I'm more confident when I can hold and see the whole move. So I always like to keep holding, and I almost never try to grab the whole scalp move, but I wait too much, and I rather and I take it out when it already went down. Why? I don't know. I keep on doing it. So I rather do maybe 4 or 5 candles instead of just trying to scalp 1 or 2. So that's the way I feel more comfortable, and that's the way I trade. And how do you see more help on trying to grab this? Well, you see, we broke up here. This was like a bigger pull, like a bigger separation. Not really. So this was more interesting here. Look at where we are. Touch of the Bollinger Band at the bottom, and we went up, all the way to the top of that level. But even this is not the level that I really want to do, because this is kind of like the 50%. Let's call it that way, the purple line. So if we go above that, it's a positive. Below, it's a negative. Did we cross? Not really, nothing. But look at this move here. This is a nice move. Cross, all the way up until here. That means here, all the way up until somewhere around here. So this is the kind of move that I like to do. So what do I see? If I see this price action, I might not take it. I just go and scroll to another name. So let's see what happened on SPY today. Marina, this is what happened to you today. Look, you won it, even though I broke and hold above this price action, you grab calls right here. And what's the other thing? What happened? Where was your stop loss set? If I wanted to grab calls right here, anywhere above this level, and keep in mind, look at where this level is. Overnight high. This is the pre-market highest price action that we had between yesterday on the aftermarket and today on the pre-market. And that's where we held. So you needed to see some, confirmation to try to go, or at least you have to set up your stop loss right here. This is the lowest that you can go. So if you got out here, well, you're red, but it was not that bad of a trade because you protected yourself. But you grab it at the right place. You grab it at a perfect place. If you were in puts, you would have been like 300% or whatever. But we have to keep in mind that we got to be careful on where we are. So the other thing, like if I changed my studies, let's say that I'm going to go to, I'm going to change this to a more common study. Let's go to the EMAs, 21. So if I wanted to grab this and this is my 21 EMA, 50 EMA, and 200 EMA. You were on top of your 21, you were on top of your 50, on top of your 200, but where is your top? So you needed to be anywhere above, like sort of this level here on the previous highs, and not a really solid hold. You need to be careful. So when you saw this candle, you jumped in. This candle, what happened? It opened this green, this little wick green, and it went completely down right away. So you could have just get out right there at market price and just, minimize your loss. And then we got a fake out and huge movement down. So these are the things that we need to be careful. And what I like about the Bollinger Bands is that this is not telling me that we are at the top. This is just telling me that we are above, but I need to rely on my price levels to see if I'm going up or down. But if I'm on my Bollinger Bands, well, I just like them to be more, to show me more of where I am, and I can be more careful where to set it. So no, I don't want to delete it. I want to add it. So now that I have my B bands, and that's why I like them, I just have my B bands again right here. So I know that if I'm too close or maybe close to these levels, I might gotta be careful with the same reading, not a really a strong hold, because I have a big wick there and then all the way down there. So those are the things that we need to keep in mind. Those are the things that we need to be very careful with. I try to only trade the 2 hours. I like to help and follow up on the next hours, but I'm really careful. I'm really careful on no, I don't love to jump into the first move. I love the second leg. The second on the or the third leg are normally the easiest one and the most precise ones. And even though, look at someone was saying that between where we open and like an hour and a half, we have the range of the day. Yeah, most of the time, like this was at 11 and this was at 9:50, and this was the range of the day. So I like to put these levels: overnight high, yesterday high of the day. So yesterday high of the day, we were above this level today, and yesterday low of the day was here. So we were within the high and the low of yesterday. And if I go here, this is the low of yesterday here, high of yesterday. So if I do my block just to visually, not to do some stupid thing like this, but if I go like this, and I go to what happened today, I can go from here. This is what I was trying to do, to here. This is where yesterday price action was, and this is what happened today. So we tried to hold on top of a new support. We were not able to. Bears got in control, and we're holding around here. So what am I waiting tomorrow on SPY to do? Well, I'm on SPY calls. I swung a couple of SPY calls because I believe that after this hold here, I believe that we might be trying to see if we can hold above this level on the pre-market. But we have a lot of news this week. We have PPI and we have CPI. So we got to be, I'm just hold for one day. And if tomorrow I'm not where I am, I'll be out and that's it. But why do I swung puts? Because rejection, 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 or sorry, support, 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 support. And I said, well, if we find support 4 times here, we might just, try to go again up. And since we broke here, but we were not strong enough, maybe tomorrow we have the strength to go to that 537. And that's how I keep on that, on that trade, or that's how sometimes I swing. I don't know what the time is going to be on CPI. I think if you go to news tomorrow, then let me see if CPI should be on 8:30 on Wednesday, 8:30 CPI, and PPI it's gonna be on PPI is gonna be on Tuesday, tomorrow at 8:30. So we have PPI tomorrow at 8:30 and CPI on Wednesday at 8:30. And then we have CPI, yeah, that's what we have. Yeah. Yeah, you see the MACD, how the MACD works when we have those levels. It works very nice. I think I got rid of it on this little chart. Let me add it again. Yeah. If I go to the MACD and I go here, add selected, apply, got it. If you see what happened here, Marina, if I use my MACD, look at where my lines start to getting down. I was on top, but then look at my volume start getting, in another color, and look where we start coming down, and we crossed right here. So when I see this move here, and I grab puts right here, look where I would have been grabbing my puts right on top there, and all the way down below red, and then I could have just been out anywhere around here, and I would have been out somewhere around this area or whatever. Yeah, so those are tools that you can use, guys, and that's how I like to keep my levels. That's how I use the indicators and different indicators, as I said, because if I go here, you see I have the TTM squeeze, I have the MACD, I have the volume right here, and I jump, guys, from one thing to another one. I don't stay all the time fixed. Sometimes I switch depending on how I feel more comfortable. I can switch my EMAs or anything, but so far for the last couple of weeks, I've been trading with the Bollinger Bands, my VWAP, and I just made it simple to myself. I just follow my price levels, and I just try to help myself knowing if I'm overextended or oversold with my bands right here on my my Bollinger Bands. So any questions right now, guys, so far? Anyone else have another name that would like to see that you traded today and maybe you didn't do that well, and we can see how these levels and how the how our indicators can help you position yourself better for tomorrow. The idea, guys, is that you find and you play around with these levels. Another, of course, advice: don't play with them with real money. Try to go with, grab some time, like half an hour during the open market, and go to paper trade and use these levels, use these indicators, and practice. Remember, we need to practice before getting into the market. Don't practice with real money. Practice, practice, practice. And when you see that you are confident on your levels and how you read your indicators, then you go to real money and Be very careful, grab one contract, see how it works, grab another contract, see how it works, and be very, very, very careful. But that's the best advice that I think that I can give you on those part there. See what happened here. Got my mixed my volume with this. Slide set right here. Any other name that you want to see, guys? Let's see what else had happened today. Oh, well, the trades that I got today, guys, we got Apple. Well, we got SPY. I grabbed SPY calls all the way here, and then I call for SPY puts right where in this area. So I got some people who grabbed SPX, and that was it was a super nice trade. Then I was on Apple calls. Why do I grab Apple calls? First, I trade Apple every day, most of the time that it gives a nice price action. And then look what happened to Apple today. First, on the bigger time frame, what happened to Apple? Apple broke on Friday the 50 daily SMA. It held on top, so I was confident that we played calls that day, and I held some of those calls because I was confident that after I saw breaking and holding above the 50 daily, that we were going to keep holding that level. And yes, we held above. This is what happened in the price action that we broke. We held above, we held. Look at this beautifully entry at the same price action that it was rejection. It became support, and if I zoom in, what happened? Grab a nice call all the way to, look at this level, 219. So you could have grabbed calls at the break of the VWAP, at the hold of the overnight high that it was here when it opened, or all the way up here. It was beautiful, beautiful trade on Apple. And then you're out at this level. And this is the level that I called, that I said, listen, be careful, because this is a gap down that happened on Apple. Where that level comes from? Well, look at the level here on the bigger time frame, on the half an hour. This is where we had the huge drop overnight that it went down. I just mark it with a little yellow line that it's going to give me a little more visual cue when I get there. And what Apple did on the last week, it was grinding and grinding on this upper trend beautifully all the time to this point right now. So here's where the key point. Are we breaking between the 50 and the 20? Are we breaking up tomorrow and trying to find my 225 level? Or are we going to resist and try to stay, since we have data on this side? But the probability is that the data is going to make it either break up or down. So, but this was a beautiful trade, and based on levels, we knew, or I knew, that we needed to get out. Why? Well, this was where the gap started, and normally we have rejection on those previous price action. So what time is it more volatile? Well, you say the time on the day or the time to trade, the time frame to trade, Husky. On the day, the volatility comes in the morning and at the end of day. The most volatile is the first 2 hours, normally, on less data. But the volatility and the volume comes in the morning, right when we open, all the way until 11. You see that every time that we trade on VC, it's between open and between 10:30 and 11, we're almost already in 3 trades. It happened already, the move, and then you're just looking for the second leg or third leg. So that's why we try to grab not the first move, but the second. Like right at open, right out of the bell is the riskiest one. Every time that you see a move like what happened to Apple today, look, if I go, I'm gonna go to the 3 minutes because I have the 3 minutes. I trade on the 3 minutes because I like to see the price action a little more in detail. Look what happened here today. 3 minutes up, it went down, up, it touched VWAP up, and then it went all the way down and broke VWAP again. And here is where, on the hold of the VWAP, is where the maybe better entry was, because grabbing this one here was so fast that it's really hard to grab it. But you let it run, it went all the way down, you let it go up, it gets little like a little puppy, you know, crazy, up, down, some move, and then it settles. And here's where you got confirmation. Okay, it's holding, 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 and we're going up. We're breaking overnight high. This is the move that you want to grab all the way until here. This is the move. This is the beautiful move. And then you could have just grabbed calls, but this is kind of unexpected that you have this such a big dump. I don't know what happened here. It was news or whatever happened here, but this was an unexpected candle like that. But you see, this is like, that's why you don't need to rush on taking anything right it up. And guys, you can wait until, you know, the crazy thing happened. These people, maybe they were holding from yesterday or from last week, people getting in and trying to chase whatever. And then you wait for that little pullback, you know, safety. You see that it's breaking your level, it's getting away from VWAP, and it's giving you the entry. And then you could have get out here, you could have get out here. That's it. That's the only thing that you need to do. Qs were a little bit like SPY today. Look at this. Look at what happened on the Qs. We were presenting rejection on the previous days. Rejection, rejection. Friday went up, stay above these 449.34. And today, what it did? Exactly the same, but we just touched a little higher. But look at, we open, I'm going to go to the 5 minutes. That's where we need to trade. And that's where I advise you guys to trade. Don't go to any lower than that. Look at this. This is a good chart to visualize why. Look at this. You wanted to jump right here and say, okay, I'm jumping into calls. No, fuck, I'm jumping into puts. Yeah, you made some money here, but where's the big move? Here. When you see that it broke down, bounce, bounce, and hold. And look at this beauty right here, all the way here. Here's where you wanted to grab that movement. That's where we wanted to go. Do we have any indicators telling me that we needed to get out? Well, I might get this little hold of the trend that we got from, you know, my bigger time frame, that I got this here, and we try to, you see, this is where kind of be careful around that area, but it was not specifically one level that we needed to be careful. Just if we know how to use the B-band, every time that you are around the B-band, here's where you needed to go. And if you left any runners, when you start to separate away from the B-band, that's where you need to get out, because normally is when we start trying to just push back. So the correct entry was here at this level here. And then the exit was around this area here. That's the two. If you left runners and got out here, well, perfect, nice. But this is what we care. This probably 15 minutes here, that's where the money was made. That's it on Qs. And look what happened with the MACD. Where the MACD line crosses the marker line, right here. Where is the entry? Look at that. Right here, or it's here where the price action is. And then where do we get out? Look at where it start dumping, and look at where we start dumping. So really nice to use this indicator as to let you know, be careful, get out, be careful, set a stop loss, don't be greedy. See the other candles are getting, in a different color. So we're starting to come down, volume is fading, be careful. So yeah. Yes, Apple, remember, Christopher, Apple, it's from the NASDAQ too. It's a technology, and Apple is going to be it's going to move either SPY and the Qs. Yeah, it's normal. Ryan, I don't trade DJT. I don't like, this is too much volatility for my taste. If I'm green on the day and I see some maybe crazy move, I try to maybe add up a little bit, but I don't like to trade this. This is based in news and whatever happened with Trump. So I don't really have any charts or levels on it. That's it. I'm not interested too much on this myself. Sometimes if I see that it's holding, look at this level here, and I see that it's breaking up, I might try to maybe do a scalp, but this is not something that I really go after. I like, there's so many good names and so many good companies to trade that I don't really care about these names to try to do a quick scalp. AMD, Dell, SPY is giving, you know, Nvidia has been giving us amazing price action, guys, you know, breaking up, it's breaking the trend, it's holding the previous price action. I believe that Nvidia is set up for a big run up again after this price action that it had here. So I'm trying to catch this Nvidia move all the way up again. It has earnings. So it has earnings on the 28th of August. And I would love to see what's going to happen from here until earnings. So I don't, as I say, I don't like to be trading names that, you know, are too volatile and too small. Focus on bigger name, guys. Focus, we have, you know, we have Nvidia, we have Meta, we have Apple, we have Netflix, we have, you know, huge companies, Microsoft, that are more solid with better price movements than trying just to catch those. Even I don't like, even though SMCI, it's very important for the chips, I don't like the spreads that they have. So if I'm gonna be risking $1,000 or $2,000 on a trade, I want to make sure that when I set my limit, I'm gonna get filled on that limit. But here it's kind of like lucky that if you get out, you don't get out. At what price is gonna fill me? So it's really, it's not my favorite. That's one of the reasons why I like to trade Apple so much, or Nvidia. I'd rather buy 40 contracts on Apple on a move like, you know, that I can kind of predict in a better way. Something like this, that I know this is the bottom and it went all the way up here, and I can see that it's holding or doing anything here, than trying to go to one up and down on DJT. So that's my recommendation. I love to see what's going to happen with Apple tomorrow, and if we're going to break this up, or we're going to, if we go again to 219 and reject it again, it's going to be a nice entry for puts. So any other question, guys? Thank you very much for giving me company. I hope that this is helpful for you on how to use those levels, and be very, very disciplined, guys. Do not, every time that you set up your levels, trust them. Don't grab, you know, puts when we are at the bottom. Don't grab calls when we are at the top. No matter how looking good, just seek and scan for other name, and you will see that other names are going to have better entries, and go to trade those. If you have any questions about any of the indicators, about levels, if you're having any trouble during the day or anything, guys, don't hesitate to DM me, and I can go with you through the levels that you're watching. We can go to see what name are you looking at. And remember, 4 eyes sometimes see more things than two. And the more we are trying to figure out and trying to win, the better for everyone. So I'm here to help, and just DM me whenever you need that. Okay. Have a great night. Hope to see you tomorrow. And and the last one that we called today, sorry about that, was Abercrombie and Fitch. Why did I call Abercrombie and Fitch? Look at this chart, guys. That's a no-brainer. Look at this thing. Hold right here at previous, you know, rejection, and look this trend that we have. And why do I want it to be more consistent on my word? Why do I want it to grab Abercrombie and Fitch? Look at how it resisted and broke the 20 daily SMA. Look at this hold, and I'm gonna go to the 3 minutes to look at you. Look at this beauty. Look how do we resisted, broke it, and look at this resistance. Look at this support here. Support, and broke up. And that here is when I grab the calls and I added some here, and I'm still holding Abercrombie for a swing. I hope that the news are going to help me, and I see this volume here, it might help me to go up. So you see why I use those levels, And on my smaller time frame, look at the break. Look at this break right here of the MACD, and look, it never crossed back all the way until this top here. And yeah, I hold, because remember, this is gonna average down to where the price action is, and it's gonna reset itself again on tomorrow. So this is gonna open up and go higher again. But this was a beautiful trade here. Nice trade. Now I'm off. Just wanted to go through all the names, but don't hesitate to DM me, guys. Have a great night, and I hope this was helpful for everyone. Take care.